Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're bringing you something new and exciting, experimenting with a new segment for Damien Talks Toys, and that is going to be this brand new segment we are calling Select Your Character. Now what I'm wanting this to be is to be more of a raw, less editing, sort of off the cuff reaction and coverage of action figure news, mostly 1/12 scale action figures that are related to fighting games or fighting game adjacent properties. We want to cover third party stuff, official stuff, you name it. If it's something cool that is 1/12 and fighting game related, I wanted to have a place that I can talk about it, we can look at it together, and just cover it that I might not have been able to cover in just a regular video. So this is going to be the inaugural episode number 1 of Select Your Character, and it's something that I'm excited to start doing. Now, the future of this, I'm hoping to bring on other collectors, other YouTube creators in the fighting game action figure related space, just to start a dialogue, get different perspectives on all the stuff that's coming out. We've had a flood of really great action figures that are from not just from Street Fighter, but from all different properties that are, like I said, fighting game or adjacent to fighting games, and just a lot of really exciting stuff that I think would be a lot of fun to sit down and chat about. So hopefully you guys enjoy this sort of more raw type of video where I'm just going to be showing a lot of the stuff, news, and things that have been happening in this section of the action figure world, and we will just get into it. There's a lot of stuff that has come out in the past couple of weeks, this week included, that I wanted to touch on that I just didn't have for a full video. Now don't get me wrong, we're still going to be doing full review videos, we're still going to be covering pre-orders and all the stuff that we do here on the channel as well, but hopefully this will become I'm thinking right now, a bi-weekly video series just to cover a lot of the stuff that doesn't really fit anywhere else. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump into this. There's a lot of really cool stuff that I wanted to talk about. So first up being the Jada Toys T-Hawk. Now this just went up for pre-order last week, and I was super hyped on this. I've been waiting for these last two characters from the Street Fighter line, from Jada Toys Street Fighter line, because they're big characters. They're going to be improved characters as far as their design and sculpt. If you collect Jada Toys, every wave that they've released has just gotten better than the last. So I'm really excited to end the roster for Street Fighter 2 on these last two characters, T-Hawk and Zangief. But it looks like we're getting T-Hawk first, and Jada Toys just posted this to their official Instagram page. Really cool, just sort of posing video. I'm not sure if this is June or somebody else in the company, but it's looking so damn good. It moves really well. You can see here the amount of articulation is what we expect from a Jada Toys. Just, really, really great articulation, really great posability and playability. And I mean, look at this this pose that he's getting the figure in right now. This like really deep, crunching, running pose. Like, that is phenomenal for a character this size. You can also tell just from how big that figure is in his hand that this is going to be a towering figure, even bigger than their Sagat, which they released last year, which is just a big figure, surprisingly big. Every time I pick that thing up, I'm like, they really, they went all out with this one. Comes with this Hawk accessory. This is just going to be a really fun one that I think collectors are going to really appreciate. So this figure is currently up for pre-order, still available on Big Bad Toy Store, as you see here, for $34.99, which is their standard deluxe pricing for these larger, more deluxe figures, as they call them. We can look at some of these promo shots here. The detailing on the clothing, like the fringe, the denim texture, the fold. You can see it has nice shading in the folds of the clothing here. Nice silver paint on the belt. You even get those blue details in the sort of cuffs of these boots. The face paint, they just really killed it with this one. The details are looking really nice, and I cannot wait to get this figure in hand because, you know, if you collect Jada, you know how fun these figures are to mess with. So if you haven't pre-ordered yet, go ahead and check that out on BBTS. Still available for $34.99. Said to hit around third quarter 2026. I've seen some leaks out of GameStop showing this to be releasing by the end of July, which could be really cool. Maybe that might coincide with San Diego Comic-Con. Who knows? We might even see this figure available to purchase at San Diego Comic-Con, but either way, it's right around the corner, and I cannot wait to add this to the shelf. Now let's get into some third-party stuff. We don't really cover third-party in any of our like full, you know, pre-order or coverage videos, but there is a lot of really cool stuff going on in the third-party world that is Street Fighter related, you know, fighting game related, and this one is looking so dang good. This is a what they're calling Fist Studios 1/12 boxer action figure. You know, these are not officially licensed. These are third-party figures, so you can't really call it what it is, but we all know this is Street Fighter 6 Ken, and he has the full soft goods. His sculpt is looking just awesome. The paintwork on this is looking fantastic. We can get some, you know, just look at this thing, man. They really knocked it out of the park. At least, you know, if when we're looking at these preview images, the soft goods look awesome. Like, look at his eyes. His eyes are movable. But of course, this is a more premium release. These Fist Toys action figures are going to be a more premium product. So you have a deposit here. You can pre-order him off 5K Toys with a deposit of $18, but that's not the full price, of course. His full price is going to be $98 plus shipping, which will probably land somewhere, you know, 105, 110, something like that. He's going to be standing 5.9 inches, so this should pair really well with your Jada or Storm 1/12 collectibles as far as the Street Fighter stuff goes, but he is looking absolutely killer. If you're looking for a 1/12 Street Fighter 6, which, you know, you either have a choice from these guys or a Revoltech, which is more of a true 1/12 scale, you know, this might be the way to go because the price range is about the same. This should be releasing Q4 26, maybe squeaking into Q1 2027, but we will see how that all shakes out. And once this thing is in collectors' hands, you know, we'll definitely take another look at this. I did not pre-order this. A little too premium for my blood, but who knows? Maybe we'll end up snagging one in the end, but looks super awesome. Now, sticking with this, the Fist Toys third party, this we have here is what they previewed as their second release from Fist Toys is going to be the Resident Evil Jill Valentine. And I know Jill Valentine isn't specifically a fighting game figure, but we've seen her in Marvel vs. Capcom and other instances, and she's a Capcom character, so I think it's worth checking out, especially because it looks like Fist Toys is doing some really cool stuff. Looking very high quality, it's hard to tell. I believe this is maybe like a CGI render, not an actual, you know, prototype, but it's looking really, really good from the face and the detail and the accessories. Now, if you look closely, there might be some, like, Fist Toys might have enhanced a few things, exaggerated a few things, maybe inappropriately, honestly. Like, it's a little much, if you ask me, and I think fans also had a similar reaction because, as we saw in that post that I pulled up previously, that was them like a few days later being like, we heard your feedback, we talked to Fist Toys, and we're not only going to to release what they're calling the big bust version, but they're also doing a version they're calling small bust, which should look more accurate to the video game character. But hey, at least they're taking the feedback and they are giving you the option. So that will be the second release from Fist Toys, but just the quality of these things is looking really good, really premium. So we will see once these release if they can really hold up to all of these previews and some of the hype that has grown around their company Fist Toys. Now let's go ahead and jump into some Storm Arena news. If you are pre-ordering your Storm Arena figures through Big Bad Toy Store, you have something to look forward to because Street Fighter Alpha 3 Nash has finally hit BBTS and is beginning to ship out. This email came yesterday, so if you ordered it through them, pre-ordered through them, this should be shipping this week and should be in your hands very soon. This should be hitting my pile of loot soon, but we have we got this figure early when it released from Hong Kong about a month ago. I think it's been about a month now, and so we have a full review of the Storm Arena Charlie Nash already up on the channel if you want to check that out and see if maybe you're interested in getting one for yourself, because now that he is finally fully releasing, you're going to find him for a good price on places like eBay. I've seen him on AliExpress, but you can check other retailers because he should be hitting those places as well. Next up, we want to look at another Storm Arena figure that was supposed to release in Q1, but was delayed to Q2, kind of like Charlie was. This is the Baki Hanma the third release from the Baki Hanma line. This is Hana Yama. Now, I will admit I am not a huge Baki fan. I don't know the lore behind this guy. I don't know much about him other than he is a really unique release for Storm Arena. He has this really cool sculpted suit. He has a lot of really nice details that we haven't really seen in any other Storm Arena figure. So I'm excited to pick this up just to kind of see what a new unique character from Storm Arena will look, feel like, and how it will move. There are already some people getting this figure in hand, which means it's releasing out of Hong Kong. So if you are shopping, with places like AliExpress, you can find some places here already have this guy in stock. You can get it shipped right to you from China if that's what you please. Of course, you're paying a little more than that $29.99 price point. The $30 price point pre-ordering through BBTS is the best price you're going to get on these Storm Arena figures, but you are definitely playing the waiting game because there's some other places like Image Anime, which is a store on the East Coast here in the US. They currently have these figures in stock, which means you can get them, pretty quickly depending on where you live in the US, but they are a little pricier. You can see their base price is at $42. So you're paying, $12 extra on top of that, standard $30 price. So if you're okay with doing that, if you don't want to wait for a Big Bad Toy Store to get theirs in, you can totally get this off Image Anime. Now, I live closer to the West Coast, so on the other side of the country from Image Anime pretty much. So the shipping cost for me is $15 through Image Anime. I don't know if it's cheaper if you order from anywhere else, but at that point you're paying almost double for this figure that you would be paying from Big Bad Toy Store. But something to consider. If you want this thing sooner, if you don't want to wait the extra month and a half that it's going to take for Big Bad Toy Store to get this figure in hand and shipped to you, Image Anime is a good way to go. Now, Mars, if you're not familiar, Mountain Arts Reviews has this figure in hand already. I believe he got his from Image Anime, and he did a really nice review. In he calls them his nature reviews and the natural lighting. And, I was a little lukewarm on this figure. Just from the pre-order and the promo images, just because I don't really know who he is. Not a big Baki fan, but after watching this review, got me a little more hyped. It's just a really unique sculpt, really unique character for Storm Arena to tackle, and that's something that I kind of wanted to see them do outside of the Street Fighter lines. So this is looking pretty dang cool, and mine is actually on its way right now. Should be here to my door by today. This video is, when the time this video drops, I should be having this in hand, and the full review for Hanayama should be dropping by the end of the week. But yeah, so excited for that one. Keep an eye out for that. Subscribe here if you're not already subscribed if you want to see that review, but that is coming by the end of this week. Now, next we want to touch on another newcomer in the Street Fighter 1/12 action figure world, and that is 52 Toys. Now, 52 Toys they do a lot of different toy. They do vinyl toys, they do plushie toys, they do what I know them for, which is their Beast Box series, which is like a Transformer type of toy series. They're really interesting. I have a few of those myself, so it's interesting to see them jump into the 1/12 action figure world. I know they last year did 1/18 scale action figures, which just did not look great to me. Didn't really like the way they looked, the paint, or anything like that. So these definitely look better than those 1/18 scale figures that they did last year. But I did want to, kind of note that what 52 Toys is really known for when it comes to their toys like this, their sort of plastic toys, is their engineering, right? These are looking to me a lot like their Beast Box series, where the plastic quality is not going to be on par with, say, like a Storm Arena or Collectibles. It's not going to feel probably as durable as like a Jada Toys or as hefty as a Jada Toys. Their figures are usually like lighter plastic, thinner plastic. They don't do a lot of paint application on them, and I think you can kind of tell that from these photos and these videos. So if you're looking for something that is like detail shaded, that is like a good hand fill quality plastic, I don't know if these are going to be for you. What they're going to be is highly engineered and super articulated. So I'm seeing these as more comparative to like a Revoltech or an SH Figure Arts in their posability, but at a better price. Now, this Chun-Li is looking awesome, super posable. We also have the Street Fighter 6 Ryu on the way as well. And again, these are, in my mind, going to be almost a competitor to those sort of higher end import figures that have all the nice articulation. So these are coming in, I believe, at around $45 retail plus shipping. So through 52 Toys, you're going to be getting these figures for around $50. Now, I pre-ordered these way before they were even up for pre-order through 5K Toys. So I went through Bombasby. They've had these up for pre-order for a very long time, and I think with shipping and everything, my price is going to come closer to $55, $60. So these are, depending on where you get them, are going to be close to double the price of something like a Jada figure or a Storm Arena figure. But I think they're going to be competing in the engineering and articulation. You can kind of see here, the finish of the plastic is not going to be as premium as a Storm Arena. They're not going to feel as like hefty and durable as like a Jada Toys is. At least I don't imagine. We'll have to wait till we get these in hand. But just from the ones the 52 Toys that I own, just kind of knowing how they've made figures in the past. These are really, I think, sacrificing some of that polish and finish for engineering and articulation, which I think is still fun. I think there's still a place for that in the hobby. I think they're going to make great posable figures, going to make really great, like, for toy photography with their different effect pieces, with that soft goods sash for Ryu. So I think they have a place in the 1/12 Street Fighter world, even though that feels super saturated right now. But still, really cool figures that should be here by, I would say, early June, that we will have full reviews for on the channel once our pre-orders arrive. But yeah, that pretty much covers it, guys, for the current news, all the new stuff that we've seen pop up for action figures and Street Fighter and fighting game adjacent action figure stuff. Hopefully you enjoyed your time with us today. Let me know in the comments below if you're interested in this kind of content and how regular you might like to see the Select Your Character news segment be released. I'm thinking maybe every 2 weeks might be a good rhythm, a good cadence, just to allow for some new stuff to come out, some new previews, just so we have a good amount of stuff to talk about. But hopefully you guys again enjoyed your time here. I really like looking and talking about this stuff, and we will catch you in the next one, episode 2. So I really appreciate you being here for the inaugural episode of Select Your Character. Be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you are already not subscribed. We are on the road to 1,000 and we are inching ever so closer, but we will get there very soon, and I appreciate all of you. So thanks, and catch you in the next one.